Before this video gets started, I would like to make a special thanks to RedXPower, a fellow DeviantArt and YouTube user who also makes custom figures. A little while ago, he uploaded a preview image of his next Freedom Leader custom, which inspired me to create this. Since I basically used his idea, but sort of beat him to the post, I didn't want to look like I was stealing it. So, credit where it's due, he came up with this idea first, I just happened to work a bit faster. So, with that said, I'm making the classic style Princess Sally. I've made Princess Sally quite a few times, but this is the first time I'm actually going to make her based on her original appearance from the first season of the Sat AM cartoon. You know, back when she had classic proportions with the little tiny body, shorter arms and legs, and the proportionately much larger head. The recipe for this figure is going to be a Blaze the Cat head, sanded round, classic Tails' arms and hands, classic Sonic's legs, and the torso from a modern Amy Rose figure. The feet are scratch built. And you may notice that there's some modifications done to the Amy Rose body already. This is left over from an old custom that never got paid for, so that's why it looks pre-painted. But, you know, sanding away the dress and tail would be something that I would have done anyway for this. You may also notice something weird about her neck peg. Taking a look at her once I sculpted on her new tail and belly tuft, you can see that the neck peg has been sanded into a smaller shape that will fit into Blaze's head. This is because the Amy Rose figure has a much larger neck peg than most do, and normally Blaze's head wouldn't fit on it. I made this modification first by shortening it with the X-Acto knife and cutting it down as much as I could, and then using a small-headed sander attachment on my Dremel tool to carve the mushroom peg shape in. Painted up, sorry that this particular picture is so fuzzy because I just couldn't quite get the camera to focus on such a small object. Although once turned in profile, it's much clearer, as you can see. It's basically Princess Sally's body. It's very petite, but still somewhat curvy. You know, as was the art style back then. Since I was so excited to get this project underway, I forgot to take a picture of the molding I did to Sally's head before I painted it, but suffice to say she has a new pair of eyebrows and a new nose and cheek tufts. This is sculpted outwards to match the longer face that the old Sally used to have. Nowadays her face is a little rounder, which is why I used Tails' head instead of, you know, like something like Amy Rose's. Although back in the day, looking at those old pictures, I found out that her eyebrows are actually black back then. I guess they just didn't match her hair at the time. As you can see, I painted her head before I sculpted her hair on. This is something I wouldn't have been able to do with Super Sculpey because boil curing the clay would have ruined the paint on the head. I would have had to try and paint around the hair, which would have been a real pain in the butt. So, thanks to Epoxy Sculpt, which cures on its own, you can actually paint her facial details and then mold on the hair and then wait for it to dry and paint it separately. It's all good. The reason I held on that picture for such a long time is because I forgot to take a picture of her hair after I sculpted it but before I painted it. You'll see what it looks like in the completed figure. But here are her legs. The feet are built from scratch because they had to be a little smaller than any feet could be. And then her arms, they're Tails' arms, and I had to carve away Tails' glove cuff, but still leave enough that the hand would be able to attach to the arm, so her forearm looks a little bit bigger. Although I did sand away a more convincing wrist. I think it still looks good, even if it is a little bit thick. I don't know, it just seems that she has a little bit more muscle definition. It doesn't look like super exaggerated like the roboticized Masters or anything. So let's get a look at the final figure. You know, what she looks like. Cute! Not serious, this thing is adorable. I love it. This is Sally as she used to look way back in the day when the cartoon first came out. The proportionately smaller body and the bigger head. And it actually works out pretty well. She still has the same kind of articulation minus the wrist and ankle, so she can turn her head, she can universally move her shoulders and hips. You know, and she scales with the classic Sonic. Yeah, she's a little bit shorter, but you know, girl that age is shorter. Anyway, this is just great. I love this thing. She looks so cute. I love it. I love it. Alright, this has been Toy Customizer Wakeangel 2001, and I'm wondering why I didn't make this so much sooner. It's such a great little thing.